talking more, like now, than I should at the farmer's market, or I'll have to wave Matt down because he's in like a 30-minute conversation with someone, and we're working, and I still need help over here. And so people come for that. That is an experience. They want to come and have that relationship with you, and the more you nurture that and you get to know them, they are more likely. We have an established customer base at this point because they see us there all the time. Lastly, I will note that last year QR codes were kind of coming up. I still think that they're there a little bit. I'm not sure if all of you are familiar with QR codes. I had them on some of our pricing sheets last year because we have a lot of people ask, well, what do you do with this? How do I use this? But not everybody seems that quick to whip out their phone, and it works some, but it is another marketing option that you could look into. AI is big right now. I'm sure a lot of you are big on that. So if you're putting social media posts out, if you're doing newsletters, I'm certainly not saying utilize that solely and put in, tomatoes, write an article for me. No, but I mean, you can utilize it to clean up your, are you laughing because that's what you do?
She's looking at me.
But
If you see a lot of our posts, I use a lot of AI. ChatGPT is your friend.
You don't write those poems?
No. And Photo Room is another one. I get compliments, oh, your photos are so beautiful, how you stage those. I don't stage those. I take a picture of my product, I put it into Photo Room, it removes the background, I tell them what it wants to look like, I
Yeah.
put it back in there and I post it.
I use Photo Room too. Even, I don't think Instagram's terrible either. When I'm posting something, it'll give you different filter options or different, use those things to your advantage. We're not asking you to let it just write it for you, but sometimes, not everybody's a great writer. Like, honestly, we are good farmers together. If I didn't have him to build the greenhouses, or if he didn't have me to do the marketing and the websites, we'd only be, there's not everybody knows everything. And utilizing those things to make it easier for you is important. Apple Pay and Venmo are ones that I'm getting quite a bit over the last 12 months. I'm not saying that you should accept them, but those are ones that I get asked a lot, sort of that tap and go.
Apple
Versus
Pay's
the
a big
card,
one,
yeah.
and Square allows you
Uh-huh,
to.
yes. So keep in mind with that, if you're looking into a system, whether it's Square or what's the other one, Clover? I've seen Clover, and there's a couple others. I think Square is mainly what I see. Just make sure if you're going to invest in something that your system allows the tap. Tap is it's just quick and easy.
Well, I think Square
and
has
ready to
even
go.
gone to now where you can tap to pay on
You
your
can,
phone.
mine can, my system can.
Yeah.
Yes,
You
so.
just gotta take your case off if you've been.
Oh yeah, so sometimes I can do it on my phone, right, but when I do it, I have to take my case off if I only have my phone option. If you have a whole system, then it's auto in it,
Right, but you
but
don't have to
yes,
invest
you
in it.
can do that. So you just wanna make sure that if you're gonna invest in something like that those are the types of things you're looking for, because those are the things that I am seeing the most, especially in the last 12 months. I don't take Venmo, do you take Venmo? And I don't
Well,
really have too many
sometimes.
problems with that.
Certain
PayPal?
I haven't had really anybody ask for PayPal. I feel like
It's
PayPal's sort of, yes, a little bit. It's more Venmo that I'm seeing now. I think.
But if you're gonna do
that's
Venmo,
it.
be very careful, because if you don't set up as a business account, from what I've seen in some groups, it can be kinda tricky, so.
I just didn't, I feel like at this stage of the game with Venmo for us, because if I was doing more, and maybe you can speak to this, more like festival type situations,
I just
or
don't mess with it.
that's what I mean. I don't know that it's been worth it to me at this stage of the game to set up Venmo. It was definitely worth it for us last year we upgraded to a larger desktop Square system. In the past, we have just used a phone situation, which has been fine. But I would venture to say 25% of our sales are in credit card, and I would also venture to say that if I didn't accept credit card, I don't know that I probably would lose maybe 15% of those sales completely, because I don't take it. So it is something to consider. Yes.
I noticed
I did a craft show last year in Clinton, and I did one last week. And my cash sales this time was so much bigger than what my cash sales were last fall.
Mhm.
Because I only had 2 or 3 people that brought a credit card to me. Everybody else was whipping out cash.
I know here, at least at the market, I have vendors that are, not sorry, vendors, I have customers that when I see them, I know what they're gonna use. I already know what they're coming for, because I know that they're probably coming to me because it's easier for them to, well, number one, my products are great, that's why they're coming to me, right? But let's just start there.
It's your sparkling
Yeah,
personality.
yeah, it's my sparkling personality, exactly. But number two, I know that they're coming because they're gonna pay with a credit, a credit card. And those particular clients, are usually spending, I don't know, 50 to 60 bucks with me every time they're walking through. Yeah, and I have.
And we have, and I'll say this, and you may see this, I always try to bring quite a bit of change.
I do.
And we have a lot of people that know that they can come to me early in a market, and I might be able to break $100 bill. You know,
Yes.
and so they'll come to me and buy because they know I can break, they forgot to stop at the bank and all they've got is that 100 or that 50. And I'm sure you see that too.
I do.
And, yeah, and so if you can manage to have that extra stash of change, even if you don't even put it in your change, just have it. Sometimes that draws people in when they get to know that you carry that with you.
I don't disagree, and I do see, I don't think it's anything for us to have, I don't know, 300 or 400s, 4 or 5 50s at the end of any
Yeah,
market
all the time.
day when you're there, so.
But I do think we get more credit card sales at the market than you would at a craft fair, because I think people come to the farmer's market thinking they're buying staples.
Staples, right.
Whereas when they
Yes.
go to a craft fair, they're taking cash a lot because they're setting a budget. So I think it is valuable to have that credit card at a farmer's market, just because it's easier to convince people to spend more at a farmer's market than it is at a craft fair.
Or they'll bring cash because they're gonna keep a budget.
Right.
I've seen that a million times at the farmer's market.
And they'll be
And
like-
then all of a sudden they're like, I think you've done that to me
I've
before.
done that.
Where you've been
I'm
like,
like,
oh, I don't have any
pull
more
out.
cash. I'm like, it's a good thing I take credit card, right? And so, because they plan to keep it under this amount, but now all of a sudden, oh, I didn't know you had this, or you had that, or, whatever that might be.
Valuable to have.
Yes, for us, it's been valuable, and it doesn't charge you anything unless you're using it. That there's not a fee just to have it. So I do find that it's important that you try to do that. Not all of us do. There's certain vendors that don't take it still, and that's your prerogative to do that. So, I think that is it. I guess the only other thing I'll say before I get down is if you guys have more questions about weights and measures things, Benita's been doing this a long time, I've been doing it for a little bit, putting labels out, how to, with produce it can get a little bit different whether you're selling by the box or by weight or what you need to put. I know that our weights and measures guy doesn't always have a lot of
Not wordy.
answer, no, he's a man of few words, isn't he? Yes, and so if you need some assistance with that or have some questions, while we are not the gospel on that, we can certainly try to help those of you that are looking for that, so. Thank you.
Okay, and just a couple things to add. Like Matt and Kim, when they're there, I know they never sit down. This doesn't really apply to you guys, but
Yeah, Matt.
if you are going to sit during the market, we ask that you
Oh, yeah.
sit on a stool that puts you up at the height of your tabletop. And that way you're much more engaged with the customer. You're on their eye level. We totally understand needing to take a load off during the farmer's market. But if you're sitting down below table height, and definitely don't be reading a book or anything while you're there. Because A, we want the market to appear like a friendly place. B, people are much more likely to buy your product if you're engaging with them, whether it's just a smile or hi, how you doing today? That we want you to be at least at eye level with them so that they feel like they're engaging with you. It will help your sales, it will help the overall market appear friendlier. Let's see. Kim said we do not love it when you leave early. I would like stronger words on that. Don't leave early unless you have, there's limited exceptions. Like I know with Kellen that you only have so much sweet corn and sometimes you sell out within an hour, hour and a half. In which case, come to us, we'll help you get out of the market. But we really do want you to plan to be there the whole time. When we say that we're gonna be open from 3 to 6 p.m., we want customers to know that we're reliable and we stand by our word. So just know that we really do want you to be there from, well, 2:30 at the latest until 6 p.m. We'll help everybody get torn down if you need to at the end of the market. But if you know in advance that there's something that you need to leave early for, whether it's a family birthday party or a church event, let us know and we'll accommodate you. But don't plan to leave early. Stay set up, like Kim said, until 6 o'clock. Wanted to add to, on your tablecloth pattern, what you saw for examples were excellent. I know, and I'm tempted myself when I see a beautiful pattern on a tablecloth, I'm like, oh, that's so pretty, I want to get that. But it takes away from your product. You really want, whatever your tablecloth pattern is, whether it's a checkered or a solid or more like a burlap, more like what Angie has, that really makes your products pop off the table. But if you've got something that's really busy and you don't, I mean, like Vicki has pie boxes on top of hers, so that is fine, you know, if you have a busier pattern on there. But take into consideration that you want people to see your product and not be confused by anything that's under it. So take that into consideration when you choose your tablecloth.
And also, one thing I would like to add is I bought, I think it's better to get a fitted tablecloth. So I'm switching to fitted ones this year because I have had a couple of people in wheelchairs almost rip my tablecloth completely off the table because it has those folded edges over the sides.
Right, that's a really good
And if I'm
point.
not constantly tucking it under the legs of the chair, it's a problem.
Right, so fitted tablecloths are preferable just for that reason, that you're not gonna get, you're not gonna trip anybody up, and if someone's in a wheelchair, they're not gonna run over it.
Or the wind takes it.
Or the
when you're
wind
trying to
takes
put
it.
on, because it
Yeah.
does get windy in there.
Right, that's another thing with the fitted tablecloths is they won't be flying up. Now, the market has a fitted tablecloth, and those fans in there are so powerful that it still blows I'm still looking for a good solution for that, so they can't see what's under the market table. But anyway, a fitted tablecloth is preferable. And for Rachel's sake, that when you make a social media post, please shoot us a text at the market number to let us know, hey, I just posted something, would you mind resharing it? And we're very happy to do it, because we're not constantly tied to social media, but if you shoot us a text or tag us in your post, that we will see that, and that way we can go and reshare it to our over 10,000 followers across social media. Another. Oh, be sure that, emphasizing again, be sure your pricing is visible. You don't have to have individual pricing on all your products, but you will lose sales if you don't have pricing clearly stated. Whether it's a menu board with your pricing on it, or if it's placards that are up above, or clip-ons like Matt and Kim have, so that everybody can see what your product pricing is. Some people are just weird, they don't like to ask, and I don't really blame them. And so if you have competition at the market and they've got their price marked and you don't, then you're at a disadvantage. So please be sure that your pricing is visible. And also I wanted to introduce Kent real quick. He came in. Kent, would you mind standing up and saying hi to everybody real quick?
Hello.
So Kent Sauford with Kent County Line Gardens, and your mom spoke about you before you
Yeah.
got here, but glad to have you back with
Mark,
us.
yeah.
Yeah. So moving along, so we did not invent the token system, but we adopted it. Somebody else invented it. I'm so grateful for it. But this is a way for customers who don't have credit cards with them at the market, and if you're a vendor that doesn't take credit cards, that you can just direct them to the market table. We will slide their card there and give them tokens that they can spend at the vendors. We have two different kinds of wooden tokens. There is the EBT SNAP, and that is for customers who have SNAP formerly known as food stamps benefits. And they come in $2 denominations, and then we have these little paper cards that are $1 denominations. And they could be spent on any SNAP eligible food in, just like in the grocery store. So the only things that aren't eligible are hot, ready-to-eat foods. Like we had a pizza vendor last year, and so SNAP wouldn't be eligible for that. But most any food item at the market is going to be SNAP eligible. If you have any question, please ask us, because we have to sign off on the trading with USDA that says that we're gonna run the program properly. So just ask, please. And then the green ones are the $5 debit credit tokens, and they spend just like $5 bills. You can give the customer cash back, which you cannot do with the other tokens, and they can be used on anything. So there's no restriction, whether it's tea or candles or breads or eggs or chicken, that anybody can take the $5 tokens. So, any questions on the token system?
We're gonna talk about Double Up.
Yeah, oh,
This is
sorry.
there.
Yeah, these right here.
That big yellow
so-
star is the middle thing.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, I didn't see it there.
For the last several years, we've been part of a program called Double Up Food Bucks. And that is a USDA grant that has also applied to customers with SNAP benefits, that if they slide their card at the market table, that we can match their transaction, dollar for dollar, up to $25 per market day. The purple SNAP tokens can only be spent on fruits and vegetables or plants that grow them. So if you had fresh herbs, that would apply. So any fruit and vegetable. So the wonderful thing about it is that it helps, as you know, if you go into a grocery store, that unfortunately the most expensive thing in there is the fresh food, fresh fruits and vegetables. So for low-income households, that they can use the Double Up Food Bucks to get free fresh fruits and vegetables. So it helps our farmers, it helps them, it helps the market. Now, because it is grant funded, that the grant is running out on June 30th, is what they've told us. Now, I know there's a lot of funding in DC that's up in the air right now. We hope that we will get this renewed and be able to offer it completely throughout the season. So we're getting updates here and there. They're very hopeful that it's at least running through June 30th, if not longer. So we will keep you guys posted on that. But only fruits, vegetables, fresh produce growers can take those tokens. So again, if there's any questions, we'll be happy to answer them. So each market day, you will receive a vendor token fees form, and this is a blown up version of that. And it's got a carbon copy. And so you'll get a copy and we get a copy. And you will just tell us what tokens you received during the day and quantity, and then the value. And then you will also calculate in this bottom half. So this is where you tell us what tokens you took in, and you'll turn the tokens in with that. And then the bottom part of the form is for you to calculate your daily fee that's owed. And we'll ask you who you want the payment issued to. So if it's Wilkin Family Farm, that's what Bill would put there. And then he would sign his name. We check all of Bill's math, and then we sign here. So hopefully between the two of us, we got the math right. So you'll receive one of these each market day. You'll turn it in with your tokens at the end of the day, along with any fee that you owe for that day. Any questions?
Tokens are reimbursed once a month.
Yeah, so tokens are reimbursed once per month, and we will get them entered into our system, and either a check or an ACH payment, which we much prefer, sending you a bank transfer rather than sending you a check in the mail. It's faster, more secure. So we will do that by the 5th of the month, and generally speaking, if it's an ACH, you'll have it no later than the 10th, And if it's a check, you'll have it usually by the middle of the month. Any questions on that? Yes?
If we don't want to turn in our tokens and we want to spend them somewhere else, can we do that?
You can do that, yes, unless it's SNAP tokens. So if it's debit or credit tokens, you absolutely can do that. That's not a problem at all, and might even be encouraged, so. We like to be transparent, so if anybody needs a copy of the market budget, we're happy to give that to you. Like I said, we're an all-volunteer board except for our market manager, and Rachel works part-time, and during the winter, it's up to 5 hours per week, and during the summer, leading up to the summer and fall market, then she's working around 20 hours a week, and we're very grateful for her. And, so the market has about a $22,000 budget. A portion of that is your vendor fees that cover that, and the rest is sponsors that we have gone out and talked to that want to be associated with the markets, whether it's Bothwell Regional Health Center, MFA Agri-Services, that they've been with us for 17 years sponsoring the market. We have Ryan Jenkins State Farm, who always sponsors our opening day. So if you know of anybody that would be a good fit for sponsoring the market, please send them our way. We would love to, and we have an advertiser vendor packet on our website. And those who sponsor a market day, we have a table front and center for them to be the sponsor of the day. It's excellent exposure if they're trying to get their name out there. So the only thing that we ask is that they don't offer anything at their table that would conflict with what our vendors are selling. Some have giveaways. We just ask them not to be giving away food because we want them to be hungry, so they're buying from you guys. Perks of being a market member. The new Core Pavilion is so great. This is our fourth year. I can't believe it's 4 years. I was going to say 3, but fourth year in the new Core Pavilion. If you are familiar with the market, you know that we were in tents in the grass before, and the pavilion is so nice. It's about 10 degrees cooler in there on really hot days. It, of course, protects us from the rain. So it is wonderful being in there. We are so grateful for it. There's lighting, there's electricity on every pole, there's the big fans, there's bathrooms, there's easy parking, it's a visible location. So this is just so many times better than having to deal with tents every market day. Again, we're a family-like community. We're happy to welcome you into that family community. We have a dedicated board of volunteers. Everybody that's on the board is a working member. There's no one that's just making pronouncements from a remote location. Everybody is involved in the market. We have our Little Sprouts Children's Program that Teresa does just a phenomenal job with, and generally speaking ties in seasonal items, whether it's helping kids learn about the life cycle of a butterfly, or how bees and other pollinators work, or bats, or owls. There was any number of things that Teresa has set up that is truly enriching, and the kids really enjoy it. I think Kim said that families, moms and dads, seem to enjoy it as well. Again, we have special events. We have musicians almost every market day. We have cooking demonstrations. We do sampling. We do giveaways. And we have community partners that help make all of these things happen, whether it's the hospital or the health center or the Healthy Youth program that we had at one point, or United Way, that we're all a team, and the market is about community. Here are, hopefully we've included all of our community partners here, but the State Fair is a major partner for us. And we do pay rent to the Missouri State Fair, but they give us a deeply, deeply discounted rate for renting the new Core Pavilion because they recognize the partnership of local food and the Missouri State Fair. MFA Agri-Services, KDRO, Sedalia Main Streets, the Missouri Grown Program, which is through the Missouri Department of Agriculture, Bothwell Regional Health Center, MU Extension has partnered with us numerous times to do cooking demonstrations or canning demonstrations, or checking people's pressure cookers. The Missouri Farmers Market Association, Brenda and Rachel and I are going to their annual conference that starts Sunday evening and goes all through Monday down in Neosho? Neosho, yes. The Farmers Market Coalition is the national organization that is a great resource for farmers markets, not just for markets, but for vendors as well. They have a whole library of information on there, whether it's being a first-time vendor or legal information that you may want. If they have a whole library of information that I'm always learning something new from. Again, Brian Jenkins and the Sedalia Democrat has partnered with us in writing articles. Kim has done some, Ziska has done some, and it's a great way to promote the market and acquaint people with the love that you guys put into the products that you sell. Applications. So if you want to apply to the market, we need to have your application. You can turn it in tonight, but we need it by March 1st, which is coming right up, because our vendor vetting committee will be meeting right after that, and we're gonna let all of the vendors that have been approved know no later than March 7th. So again, you can get it to us tonight, or you can email it to us, you can mail it to us, you can hand drop it by the office, which is the Rawlings Architects office at 208 South Lamine, which is right on the application there. And online, if you haven't gotten it yet, just click on the vendor tab, and the vendor packet button contains the whole vendor handbook with our rules and regulations, which you need to be familiar with. And the application is in there, so you can just print off that portion and mail it, email it to us, and we will let you know if we have any questions. But again, we need it by no later than March 1st in order to let everybody prepare for the season. All right, so let's have our best year yet. This is Marissa with Dolce DeMarchi. She's a baker primarily for the market. She wasn't able to be here tonight due to a previous commitment. I know she takes Venmo, though. I think she's one of our few vendors that does. But yeah, so questions and answers. Hopefully answers.
What about the, I think you mentioned insurance though.
Yes, right, yes, that you're responsible for carrying your product liability insurance, and we need a copy of that.
You wanna mention state fair, or we move during state fair?
Yeah, so during the Missouri State Fair, we have to move out of the pavilion because they use it for several events during the fair. So the first Tuesday before, the fair begins, it always starts on a Thursday, that we move into the grass right across from the pavilion with tents. And it harkens back to our roots by being in the tents, and we remember how much we love the pavilion. And then on the Tuesday, Friday, during the fair, we are in downtown Sedalia, and we probably will again be in the street right in front of Ozark Coffee Company. So again, some vendors take vacation during that time, but we will be there in tents with weights. We need to have 30 pounds of weight per leg during the state fair. And it's always kind of nice because it's away from the hustle and bustle of what's going on at the fairgrounds. And we tend to see new market customers that haven't met us before. That there's a whole different crowd that is coming in and saying, oh, I didn't know about you guys. Where are you? I mean, as much marketing as we do, it's always shocking to me when people say that they don't know where we are. But nonetheless, we do see quite a few new customers during that time, and it's nice, and the city of Sedalia is great to partner with us on that. They put out trash cans and make sure that we have the barriers to block the streets, and it's kind of a festival atmosphere, which is really fun. Yes?
What's the parking down there through the state fair,
Right, for
when
customers?
you're downtown, for the vendors?
Oh, gotcha, for the vendors. We have a diagonal parking system, and so that the vendor can still park with their booth, but you just set up your booth right at the end of your vehicle. it gets a little tricky, but we just do the best we can, so. Any other questions?